Hello everyone, I have a new ship build and for this one I wanted something sleek and this is what I was able to come up with. So I think it's pretty decent. I tried to keep it as not short but not as tall so that I can get it as sleek looking as possible. And I think this is pretty decent. This is pretty good. From the top, I think that looks very fantastic. And same thing from the front. I think that is a really good look. From the side is decent. I think it's one of the nicest ones that I built. And I use, of course, these engines. These are kind of the best engines in the game. The stats are pretty good. Plenty of hull, 1600 shield, cargo 4900. Crew is 12. I don't know how I managed to get it to 12. I mean, the maximum is 10 anyways. You can't fit more people, the game won't let you. So I don't know how I got it to 12. And if I reduce one of those control stations, it drops down to 8. So, so I just left it, whatever. Jump range 30, maxed out. Mobility 100 maxed out. Top speed 130 maxed out based on the C-class engines. So yeah, and we have plenty of weapons as well. I think I have 4 of these ones. The PBO 300 Auto Alphas. Those are my favorite guns. As well as these ones, the PB 175 Helium Beams. This is a class B, but still fantastic. So 4 of each. And then I have 3 of the MKE 9A autoguns. Those are the 2 at the top, 1 below. I don't need missile launchers. I think these guns at the range of 3,300, you can start shredding ships from very far away, and once they get close, you just use the guns to finish them off. Like you melt them pretty much with this setup. You can go higher. I know that there are more expensive, better guns, but I prefer these ones. Mostly they're good, and also because the color, they kind of match. So okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna show you guys the part. I'm gonna take this ship into different layers and show you guys all the parts. So if you guys want to, you can replicate it or do something similar. Okay, so I have the ship now split into different layers, and I changed the color as well so you guys can see better. Now we're going to start. Actually, before I begin, I built this ship on my landing pad at my outpost, mostly because I have 90% of the parts in one place. I only have to go to other shipyard for some of the specialty parts. For example, the cockpit, you have to get it by going to Deimos, and I put the locations of each of the shipyards in the description. So, okay, so let's begin with the parts. We're going to start with this layer. Now this is actually the second layer. This is the first layer, but because the parts here on the first layer do not connect with each other, so I think it's probably harder to start from here. So we're gonna start from here instead, and then we're gonna just basically add these parts underneath it. So over here, so you're free to change this to a 3x2 if you like, instead of doing these two. I did these 2 pieces because I like the living quarters, so that's why it became like this, but you can feel free to do a mess hall, which is a 3x2. Then we have a companionway here to force the ladder to be here. Then we have a 2x1 and another 2x1. Then in the front here, this is a tile cooling, a structural part. Then here, this is the Deimos landing gear. We have here a helium tank, the M20, and at the back here we have the J52 Grav drive. And then at the back here I have just one shielded cargo, 2 structures, Deimos wings on each side so it doesn't look so empty, and then there is a porthole on each side. Now the first wing, this wing, I separated here so you guys can see. So we have a tire mid cap, top and bottom, it's the same piece, just flipped. Then we have a tire braking engine, that's here. And then of course the engine gets attached from behind. Now we have a Stroud cap A, top, bottom, flipped. And then let me remove that. In here, I have a Stroud calling here, and I think there are two variants, so I'm using this one. And then underneath is just a Nova Bracer, and then back here is just a Nova Radiator, it's just for looks. And this, by the way, attaches to there, it will not attach to anything here. So with that done, we can just put this part here, this goes back in, we can highlight the whole thing, and this goes here. So, oh, and the weapon as well, there's some weapon mount that has to go in between, and then you can attach the weapon. Otherwise the weapon goes here, and it's a little bit too far. I think this looks better. And there's another weapon here, this is the autogas. And that is for this second level. So now what we're going to do is move everything in. The best way to start that is by moving the helium tanks. Now the helium tanks, they go below those helium tanks, so easy to align. This goes here, and then we have a cargo hold that goes in between those helium tanks. We have an NG20 landing gear that goes in here. The docker goes in here. And finally, the landing gear goes in here. So this is the Hope 4 landing gear. Further, we have another landing gear, one on each side, another one in the middle, and this one I left it open for a porthole. And then another cargo hold, which is the Galleon S204. Another one here. Oops. Another one here, and these two are just Deimos wings, the A and the D, and this is just for looks. So I add it here, and here, and here. Now finally we have these two landing gears, the Pinpoint 3G landing gear from Tayo, and I like them because they have the exhaust jet effect at the back, so kind of nice. So that goes in here, next to the Grav drive. So that is level 2. Now level 3, so level 3 has a little bit more things, but it's basically the same. Like this, this part, the engine is exactly the same as the ones on the second level. And then let me just remove this one so you guys can see. So there's another bracer here below because otherwise it would not connect. So there's a bracer down there, just like on the front wing, and now you're able to connect the whole thing. So over here, this is a 3x2 Stroud mess hall and a 3x1. You can make the Habs, any Habs that you prefer. And then in front of that, I have a control station. This is to increase the crew size. Then in front of that, there is a Nova cooling, some more wings. Did I have another? No. Okay, never mind. So there is a Nova wing on each side where I'm mounting the weapons, the PBO300s and the PB175. So all that is mounted. So same two wings behind as well. So next to the reactor, so at the top I have these two wings, at the bottom I have this Nova radiator. This is all connected to the reactor. Two more portholes here and at the top. And I also added a porthole here, another one at the top, and there is also this Nova thruster. I just, I thought I added there so it doesn't look so empty. So that's there as well. On the other side, another one. And at the top, there is a scan jammer. So the scan jammer, you do have to also go to Red Mall in Porrima 3 for the increase of evasion when you have contraband on your ship. So that is the second layer. All the parts here on this level, they all connect to each other. So simple enough, you know if you made a mistake if they do not connect. So let me just put it behind and it will overlap. So everything should just kind of fit perfectly and be aligned. Now on the final level, we have the cockpit, we have another hub at the back, a 2x1, and you can make it anything you like. There is a Nova braking engine, this is just structure for looks, another Nova Radiator, another wing, another weapon. And at the top here, this is a Nova Colink. This is a Deimos spine, just so that I can mount the dish of the shield on top, because I couldn't mount this anywhere else. This was the only one that will allow me, and it was fine. It kind of aligns perfectly with the Nova Colink, and then it also kind of aligns at the back with this Deimos spine. So this is flipped, and it kind of aligns just perfectly. And at the back there is a Deimos belly. So that is it. In case you're wondering what these and these are, this is a conduction grid. This is a comm spy. Now these two equipments, you get it when you're doing that mission. I forgot the name of the para group. God, I forgot the name. Okay, but you get it during that quest. So I had them from that quest. They're there. And that is it for the last level. There's nothing else. So we can just double click, highlight. Again, everything should connect with each other. And then it goes here at the top. And that's it. Everything should align at the back and everything in the front. And there you have it. So this is the build. So alright, so this is how it looks in game. I think it looks pretty nice. It's definitely big again as a massive ship. I think having the cockpit at the top and push back, it does give it a bit of a slick look. So I'm pretty happy about it. Let me just jump off from here. And yeah, it's a massive ship. Definitely humongous. Alright, I'll show you guys the interior because I made it so that we got a little bit of everything. So as I come up, I have only one berth, mostly because sometimes I come up and I want to have a bed just right around the corner so that I can, you know, speed up the time. And then right after, I have a workshop because that's another thing that I use a lot. So that's why I make sure that this is right by where I come in. And same thing with the Docker, it is also here. So, you know, the exit, entrance, very close to each other. Now there's a companion way here, just so that I can force the ladder to be on this side. And then after that, just a living quarters. This is a 2x2 living quarters, one of my favorites. And then on this side, I have this 2x1. I believe this is the science lab. And of course, whenever I can, I put in some portholes. So on each side, there is another one here. So it is a little bit covered, but still, I think it's better than not have one. And of course, you know, always the one on the ground. So I have one here. Level 2, I just have a control station here. And this is just to increase the crew size for the ship. And then back here, there's a mess hall. And this is a 2x3 mess hall. It's one of the longer one. And of course, more portholes behind. And I think I have another one here. It's too bad that the views are all mostly covered, but it's alright. And then on this side, I just have this 3x1 all-in-one berth again. I mean, I didn't know what else to have here, so all-in-one berth then. And then finally, and this is the part that I'm not 100%, I wish this ladder could be somewhere else, but I guess here is fine. And another all-in-one berth that just leads to the cockpit. There we have it. So I think overall the interior, the first floor, the second floor are fine. I just wish I could do something about the last floor, the one, the cockpit. But, you know, this was the best I could do when it comes to the interior. I don't know if anyone has a better idea. Let me know. Alright, so there we have it. That is the build. Let me know what you guys think. Is it cool? Is it not? Other than that, have fun, enjoy the game, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Time to leave this place behind.